Apple's Gemini is surging in popularity. Some argue leading the pack among the large language models. Just last week, Apple announcing it picked Gemini to power Siri. Andrew sat down with Google DeepMind co-founder and CEO Demis Hassabis. I don't know if I said that right. I might have messed that up. This week in Davos, and asked him about the evolution of Gemini in the AI tech race. Take a listen.
It's been a kind of long journey last couple of years to kind of corral together all of the assets that we have as Google and DeepMind. Incredible research bench, our TPUs, and all of the kind of research we've been doing over the last decade plus, really, that underpins a lot of the AI industry. So we always had all the ingredients, amazing product surfaces to plug AI into, and I think in the last year what people are feeling is we've kind of organized that all in a really efficient way.
Okay, so where are you in the journey, though, in terms of what comes next, about sort of productizing all of this, really getting it into all of these different surfaces? When am I going to see it in Gmail, for example?
Yeah, so look, everything starts first of all with the research and the model quality. So as you mentioned, we're very happy with how our latest Gemini model, Gemini 3, is working. We think it's, it's topping most of the leaderboards on most of the benchmarks. And the other thing we worked hard on in the last year is accelerating the infrastructure and, actually doing a lot of rewriting of the infrastructure to get the model quality as quickly as possible into our product surfaces. So you're starting to see that in, we're simultaneously shipping in search, obviously in the Gemini app, and then what you'll see this year is appearing in more and more places across all of our product surfaces, especially things like Gmail.
When people talk about getting to AGI and sort of how quickly all of this can scale, there's sort of two views. One is, if you just throw more compute processing power at this, we can get there. There's another view that there needs to be some kind of really breakthrough scientific research shift. Which is it?
Well, actually, I have a kind of in-between view, which is that I think it's an empirical question. So I feel like we're still getting lots of amazing gains out of pushing the existing paradigms, these LLMs, these foundation models like Gemini. They're getting better and better with each iteration, and we see no end to that. But on the other hand, to get to full AGI, there's some missing capabilities still. They don't do continual learning. They don't have true creativity yet. They don't do long-term planning and reasoning. So it's a question mark about a couple more, maybe a handful, 2 or 3 new big breakthroughs needed in order to get to all the way to AGI, or will scaling up the existing techniques be enough? And we're doing both. So we have the luxury of basically having the deepest and broadest research bench, and we can push both to the maximum.
There's a big question about whether there's an AI bubble. You've heard that over and over again.
Yes.
Is there a bubble?
Well, I don't think it's a binary yes or no. I think the industry's big now, and there's many parts to it. I think some parts of the AI field may be in a bubble. I mean, if you look at things like the new hot startups that raising billions of dollars in a seed round with no product or technology yet, that seems a little bit frothy to me and perhaps unsustainable. But on the other hand, there are lots of amazing use cases going on and products being used.
In terms of spending, people talk a lot about spending on data centers and the need for new chips. When you think about sort of what comes next, do you think we could have a DeepSeek-like moment, rather, where there's some kind of major technological revolution where people say, oh, maybe we actually don't need all this processing power?
Yeah, I think it's very unlikely, and I also think the DeepSeek moment was a little bit overblown, in my opinion. Like, they had to utilize some of the Western models in order to kind of fine-tune against and to train from. So it wasn't, what they reported, this very small training number, wasn't quite the full picture. It is possible that one of, there could be a left field breakthrough that does increase the efficiency of things, maybe things like self-improvement, where you could imagine there's some cycle which requires less compute power. But for now, we think that more compute, you need compute for lots of things, for training, for serving, and for exploring new ideas. But of course, all of us are trying to make our models, our leading models, as efficient as possible. So in fact, of the Gemini 3 models, our Flash model, which is sort of the workhorse model, may be the most important because we can deploy that everywhere. Artists and creators and game designers, for example, that can create whole apps almost on their own. So that should, I think, if I was to advise the youth of today and graduates,
what do you tell the kids?
Is get unbelievably proficient with the new tools. Immerse yourself in it, become native with it, and then leapfrog, whatever professional ladder you're trying to get onto, leapfrog the incumbent people on that with these new skills, which are going to change the workplace. And I think there's going to be plenty of new opportunities anytime there's a lot of disruption.